I mean, I two choices, right? I can go to rehab and go to sober living and do what I had to do, or I would spend the rest of my life by myself in a bar.
Hi everybody, I'm Jenny. Welcome to The Edge Confidential. I'm here today with Barry. How are you today?
Good, glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
How did you get sober? What did that journey look like for you?
Well, I'm 6.5 years sober.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I mean, I guess it was, I'm 58 years old now, so I was 50,
well, you look great.
51 at that point. Well, thank you. I hip replacement next week, so hopefully I'll be walking around a little bit better. But, my story was, I was successful building my own business through a recruiting agency, and I was able to mask my drinking for a long time, probably, throughout high school and through a failed experience in college. But I did have success, and so on the outside, everything looked pretty good for a long time.
For you, when did you realize, okay, this is a problem? Because people socially drink and they drink a lot, but
Sure.
then they can stop.
Yep.
So what did that look like for you?
Well, I would do that as well, but unfortunately, I was adding all day to that social part of it as well. And I was able to mask it pretty good because, I don't know. I was able to do Ironman events. I was able to go, drink during the day and go do track workouts at night. My body was a drinking dehydration machine that I practiced over many years.
Yeah.
And so I think the consequences came later for me. Physically, they didn't really come, which is lucky for me. But they did mentally. Like mentally, I was just getting worn down. And anxiety was kicking in. My business wasn't going as well. I was faltering at work. I was faltering at home with relationships and anxiety. So then basically I went through a pattern of, it must have been about 10 years where it didn't seem like I slept. I didn't sleep for like 10 years, which contributes to anxiety. So I would drink more, fail more at work, in relationships, and just go round and around and around. And I was in that cyclone of trouble. Yeah.
So when was that surrendering point in your life?
We were talking about surrender the other day. I don't even know if it was surrender. I think it was just beat into the ground with no choice. Really, wife was kicking me out. Family had been writing letters and all that stuff that, still break my heart to see. But I had one choice. I two choices, right? I can go to rehab and go to sober living and do what I had to do, or I would spend the rest of my life by myself in a bar.
So how did you find your God, spirituality through recovery? Yeah,
it's taken me a while, and it's been a journey. I find it a lot in the ocean. I take my dogs out for walks by the ocean and stuff in the mornings, which is really cool. Sort of brings me spiritually grounded, I guess, in the morning. And then also I found it in running. Being the alcoholic that I am, I took on ultra running. And so I started running 100-mile run races.
Oh, wow.
And getting deep into the mountains and the desert and all kinds of mental places. Yeah. And I really found myself out there. Yeah, I found a whole new self.
How did you discover that you liked that?
I guess piece by piece. Signed up for because I had done Ironman races and stuff like that while I was drinking, and I've been pretty active. But then I decided, what could I take on? I started reading, following different people on social and stuff like that about how we have no boundaries. And now that I have, taken a lot of my time away from my day of drinking and so forth, what am I going to do with it, right? So just transfer addiction, I guess. But I found that I loved the mountains and pushing myself past anything that I could ever even imagine. Running 100 miles, running throughout the night, training in the middle of the night, all that stuff, going out and running in the middle of the desert by myself, But what that did with your spirituality question is it brought me the stars and the appreciation of the cactus and the animals and the sounds and the smells of everything.
Being present.
Totally. And it really woke me up as far as the things that I was missing. And then it brought me an appreciation of what I could have,
And I think that's so important for people to hear, to explore what recovery looks like to you, because if we don't find those things that we enjoy doing and we're passionate about, and being able to get those endorphins and those adrenaline rushes that we need, because we're addicts and we need that, and we need, you know, excitement. So get out there and explore. You know, what would you say to somebody right now that's having a hard time figuring that out? They've kind of lost their sense of self, you know, maybe they come from a different career, and they don't know what they like.
Yeah, well, I would say that there's opportunity out there that we can't even imagine, you know, and I don't want to get corny about that, but we evolve, you know, as we get older. You know, we're not the same people that we were when we started drinking or doing drugs or whatever it was 20, 30 years ago, depending on your age, and there's so much opportunity, you know, within yourself and then outside of yourself to go get it, but it takes action. You know, you're not going to get that for free.
Right.
You're going to have to put in the work. You're going to have to be the one that wakes up in the morning, or whatever your pattern or your plan is. You got to go get it.
And how bad do you want it?
100%. Oh yeah, nothing's easy.
Yeah, no, nothing's easy, but it's so fulfilling when you get it.
Totally.
And also being of service is so fulfilling.
Yes.
Helping others, which I know you do. And so what does that do for you? How it fills your cup in a way, I can imagine, that's just that with the gratitude of seeing other people succeed, right? And
100%.
And being of service that way. So can you tell everybody what it is that you do to help others?
Yeah, I have a recruiting staffing company that's 27 years old, based in Huntington Beach, and we're across the country, and we provide technical people jobs. Basically. Okay. So I've been in recruiting world my whole life. That's my profession. Mix in sobriety, and then an opportunity to invest in a alcohol rehab out in Riverside that I did. And that led me to the spot of how can I help people the most? And it's from the job perspective, jobs and fitness, and how could we get that message across to people in recovery, as well as other sources of people that might be in the justice impacted or foster youth alumni type programs, is how could we help the people with jobs? And so that led us to Merge. We formed a nonprofit, Merge Opportunities that finds jobs.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
You know, I see so many clients that come through our program, especially the youngsters. You know, they're titled as, you know, failure to launch, having a hard time launching in life, taking that step. And a lot of them, it's because they can't find employment, or they're not able to understand or maintain a healthy lifestyle, you know, and then they give up. They go, well, I don't have anything anyways.
Sure.
I might as well just relapse.
Sure.
But when you start to gain that confidence and you're able to acquire employment and get that self-worth, I can only imagine the success is just, I mean, when we see it, it goes up. So do you see that?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and that's exactly what we're trying to do, because if you take an underserved community person, a person that's justice impacted, a person out of a rehab, foster youth alumni programs, there's a very common theme, and they don't have hope. They don't have mentorship, they don't have hope, they don't have guidance, and then they have fear, right? And they're used to rejection, and they're going to retract into something after they get that rejection, because they're probably going to get it. We all get it, right?
Yep.
But then how are you going to battle through? And so that's what I get really passionate about, because there's so much we can do to help, and we can make an impact. And luckily, with my profession and the access to jobs, I mean, we hired about 1,000 people last year.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Yeah, you know, and our nonprofit's rolling. We'll hire over 100 people through these programs this year. So we're rolling pretty good. But we can make an impact one person by one person, and then give them that hope.
So can a drug offender find a high-paying job?
The answer is yes. Yeah, absolutely. Are you going to walk into, from a rehab to $100,000 job? Probably not, depending on your background, unless you have some crazy skill set. But it definitely ties into recovery as far as building that foundation of you becoming better at whatever that job might be, right? So you might start off at level 1 and go to level 2 and level 3, build that foundation up, and then let your skills will come back out.
Okay. Yeah, that kind of led into the next question with what strategies can help an ex-offender find meaningful work?
Sure.
Yeah. So that.
Well, I mean, you could call us.
Yeah.
We'll help. but number one is, perseverance. It's, setting yourself up online. It's setting yourself up in the right spots to be able to be accessible to the jobs. And then it's the follow through. Definitely keeping in your mind to stay positive and not give up, because we tend to give up. And go back to what's really comfortable for us, and that's a bad spot. And so that's probably what you have to do, is just keep fighting through.
Yeah, and I think that's just so important, because like they say on all the motivational videos and shows, they say fail forward, just keep going, because I feel that if you just don't give up and you keep trying, at some point you're going to find that success, and you're going to learn so much along the way. What have you learned about yourself the most through this whole process?
That it's a lot better to give than get. Like, I get way more fulfillment out of getting a job for somebody that's out of a prison and making their life better. Whereas 10, 15 years ago, I would rather make money. I need to make money to be able to make that vehicle happen. But I have way more, if the world was great and I didn't need to make any money, I would, quit my job and just do this full time. Because, nothing is more gratifying of helping people,
I agree.
Yeah.
Once you start doing it, it's a whole other addiction, but a good, healthy one.
Totally.
It's the best healthy addiction.
Yeah, to get
others.
the wins and not only to get the wins, but to be in the process with people is really, really cool. Of somebody who's, developing some job skills or developing some confidence or overcoming some fears, to go out there and just keep battling and then achieve what they want to do is there's nothing better than that.
And so how can people find you guys online?
Sure. mergenow.org.
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 Okay.
Merge Opportunities. If you're on LinkedIn, if you look at Merge Opportunities, you'll find us. If you Google Merge Opportunities, you'll find us. The drug and alcohol rehab is called PH Wellness. You can
amazing program, you guys. It's a detox residential program. So someone that's needing to get off of the opiates in that beginning stage. Yes, PH Wellness. Amazing. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
Thanks for everything you're doing in the community. I really appreciate it.
It's great. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thanks, you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.